Hey, Patrick Murphy here from Quarter Inch Off, and I'm continuing on the Murphy bed here. So what I had been doing is I did 2 coats of stain, 2 coats of polyurethane using the Czar stuff. I sanded this down, dry sanded with this 400 grit paper. This one I wet sanded first, and it got really smooth. I like how it felt after sanding it. Cleaned it up with mineral spirits to wipe all the sanding sludge off of it. And then I've been trying to buff, and I've been using this paste finishing wax with that Ryobi buffer, and you can't, I don't know if you can tell, I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up, but there's a lot of swirl marks, and it's satin poly. It looks really dull. Now in this one, I dry sanded, did not buff yet, because I wanted to see if I can fix this a little bit without having to do too much. So I did do these different, one's going behind the bed, one's going on top of bed. Nobody's even going to see these pieces, really. But I went out and got this furniture cream to try to get the paste finishing wax off this and see if it buffs any different. So I'm going to try that. I don't know if I didn't dry it well enough, or didn't let the paste sit long enough, or the buffer heated up too much and just kind of melted the wax on here. But I really don't like the way this looks. It's really spotted, and the problem is I could take my finger and rub in a few of these places and make it look different, right? So I think it was something with the wax and the polishing, because it looks better when I do that. So maybe I'll just rub my hands all over the wood. I don't know. But before I try doing this on anything else, the big panels which people will see, I wanted to try the cream wax versus that paste and see if that makes a difference. So stay tuned. So for me, this has a really dull finish on it, and this doesn't. So this was wet sanded with 400, cleaned up, paste wax on, and then the furniture cream on to give it this, I don't know if the camera's going to pick up, this lustered look, lack of luster. This dry sanded, did not put the paste wax on but put the cream on, and it looks tons better to me. And again, I'm trying to move around here to see different things. I can still, with this finish, do that. And again, that's going to be the top of the Murphy bed, so nobody's going to actually see it. This is a back panel headrest, so people will see it. So I want it to look somewhat good. Yeah, so I think dry sanding and using the cream and a buff is probably the way I'm going to go on the rest of it. Now, for the bed frame around the side, I did use that paste wax, but I used the Czar Stain and Poly in 1, which I just hated the Stain and Poly in 1. But I used that paste wax and got a different result on those. So it could be the poly. I only did two coats of poly on this. The other one I did something different. So that could be the difference as well. But it also could be I'm not used to working with satin. Usually I do glossy, so maybe it's just me being biased in what I'm seeing. But this, you could just see how dull the finish is. Again, I don't know if the camera's going to really catch this, but I'm going to go with what I did on this one. Again, it's a bed for my kid, so it doesn't really matter. Nope, practice for me. So.